tell us how did the bye week do you guys good?
Yeah, I think a bye week's always good. Gives you a chance to go back and reflect on some of the things that you do, every day defensively, and go back and try to look at it through a different set of eyes and self scout and take a look at how the offense is looking at you. Are there some things that some tendencies that you need to change up, or are there some things that you need to do better? And but from a run game, pass game, situations, you're able to go back and work some of those things without the hurdle of getting ready for a ball game. So you got a little bit better time to discuss and meet and talk with the guys and explain a little bit better. These are the things that we want to get done, and here's some things that maybe we need to switch and change a little bit. So yeah, it was good work.
Mm-hmm. I know it's getting to be a little bit old news, but can you reflect on Ball State and the effectiveness of their quick passing game? The quarterback seemed to release the ball, within a second, 2 seconds, and that kind of gave you guys a little bit of trouble.
I think maybe the tackling is what gave us more trouble. Bottom line is this: if they're throwing the football quick, then we just want to be able to come up and make a good tackle. And sometimes from a leverage standpoint, we didn't have that leverage with our defenders, so we needed to maybe call a little different defense some. But I don't think the quick game is what beats you. I think it's the ball over your head and then on into the end zone. Those are the ones that beat you. If you give up a 5-yard run, that's not the end of the world. Likewise, a 5-yard pass is not the end of the world either. But we just got to do a better job of tackling and gaining that leverage that allows us to tackle it a little bit better.
Sure. And then just to reflect on your first answer, were there great concerns in your review of the team's defense over the first 5-6 weeks?
No, not really. I think we are who I thought we were. I think there's times where offenses were able to put together some nice plays against us. There was also some times where there were some plays that we should have defended better. But I truly believe that out of those first 5 ball games, during the season, I thought it was going to be one that would have a chance to win each of the games. But I thought each one of them would be tough. I thought people look at Georgia State and that was we won that one pretty handily. But Georgia State was pretty solid against a lot of other teams. Gave Auburn everything they could handle. And you go back and look at Western Kentucky. That was a team that has thrown the football as good as anybody in the country. And I thought they would throw the football well. I didn't know that we would defend the run as well as we did against Western Kentucky. But if you look at them, their quarterback's probably number 1 in the country if he's played the same number of games as everybody else in passing yards, and they score a lot of points. Same thing. You go through the whole schedule. Connecticut is a team that gave several teams a run for their money as far as into the fourth quarter and having a chance to win a couple of ball games against some good teams. So Ball State, Ball State was a team that had won the MAC championship, played for the championship, and a couple of years ago, and I thought they were a pretty good football team. I thought offensively there were some teams that they went against that were really, really good defenses, and they had some tough times, but it wasn't a surprise to us that it was a tough battle, So as we go back and look at ourselves and reflect on what we could do better, we tried to address those concerns And I feel like we did a nice job in the off week and working this week on still getting better at certain down and distances and formations and some of our coverages.
Thanks, Nate.
Sure.
Hey, Coach Ken Kreitzer, SAL Radio. Good to see you. About Wisconsin, they had a big running game against Illinois last week, 390 yards, two running backs, Maluzzi and Allen, both over 130 yards and a touchdown. They got a big offensive line, almost all 305, 6'4" or better. What are the challenges you see in that Wisconsin offense?
I think just what you mentioned. I think Wisconsin. I played against them twice, for two different teams, and each time I played against them, they, offensively they were pretty good, outstanding. And then every year their defense is good as well. So sometimes their defense is limiting, the offensive production, in the past. And you're out there on the field, and Wisconsin runs the football very well. And if number one, they've got a nice scheme and how they run, and usually they're making you run with the guy that's furthest away from the tailback in order to catch up to make the tackle. They do a great job with big guys and still making your initial charge up front, and then those big guys are nimble and athletic enough to move on up to the next level and block the linebackers as well. So just a tremendous scheme. I think Coach Chris has got an offense that runs the football, makes you bring your safeties down into the box to help stop the run, and then takes advantage of one-on-one opportunities with corners and out there in space. And if we can win some of those battles, and get them behind the sticks, still, third down is one that we got to do a little bit better on some of our third downs. But if we're going to win the ball game, we got to get pressure on the quarterback and be able to get off the field at a high rate on third down.
Well, is the key to that defense being able to get the linebackers in play, Eric Smith and Andrew Carter? Of course, Andre's leading the country in sacks. Is that the key, or is it the defensive line just being able to tie up the blockers up front?
Yeah, I'm not sure that I could say that there's one thing that has to happen for us to win this ball game. I think a number of things. Guys have got to be sound in the responsibilities. Up front, we can't get knocked back into the linebackers as they scrape to the ball. We got to get pressure on the quarterback. We've got to be able to defend guys, skill guys in space that are really good. And then the quarterback is a guy that maybe they you look at and doesn't have the completion percentage that some people have. He's got a good arm, and he's a good football player, and he's got good accuracy. He needs a little bit more time to throw the ball at sometimes, and he's played against some really good football teams. I think their losses are Notre Dame and Michigan and Penn State. Those are good football teams, and this is still a team that'll have a really good year. They'll win a lot of football games, and hopefully it's just not this one.
Coach, just a thought about the quarterback, Graham Mertz of Wisconsin, 2 touchdown passes, but 7 interceptions. Does that stand out? Was he getting into a lot of bad situations?
I think he had a lot of pressure on him. And, I can't sit here and tell you that he should have made a different decision as far as who to throw to or the timing of his throw. But there were some good football teams getting good pressure on these guys and on him. And I think that if we're going to be successful, we got to do the same thing. We got to get pressure on him, whether it's first, second, third down, whenever he's throwing the football. We've got to get in his face and make it difficult for him to throw. Whether it's the mid-range ball or whether it's the deep shot. And we talk about the little short ones and stuff. You just don't want the short ones to break those tackles and beat you down the field. So they got a nice little screen game as well that helps them alleviate some of that pressure. So you got to be able to be sound against that this ball game.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good.
We haven't talked about the scout team a lot, and I was just wondering the importance of a scout team this week with the way Wisconsin likes to run the football, and if you can, how close you can simulate that in practice.
It's hard to simulate Wisconsin's linemen. If we want to make our guys about 4 or 5 inches taller and about 40 or 50 pounds heavier, we might get a little bit closer to that. But I think that just from a scheme standpoint, you want to make sure that your defense is stressed in practice in order to get to where they need to be during the to the point of attack. And a little bit tough this week simulating some of those plays because of just defensively up front. We're able to do some things up front with our defensive linemen that we may not be able to do in the ball game as far as knockback and penetration. So I'm not saying that we can't get penetration during the ball game, but not nearly as much. And against some of the plays that we're seeing in practice. So scout team is for us is incredible. They do a great job, week in and week out, giving us, the kind of look that we need. But, this week is a little bit different. This is a little bit of a, I don't want to say throwback, offense, but it's, more tight ends, fullback, and run the football and be good at running the football and have a philosophy that this is what we're going to do to you until you bring enough into the box to stop it. And we're still going to run it some more, even with those numbers. And then at some point we'll go to the passing game. And Wisconsin's really good at executing that. Like I said, their record is not as indicative as what kind of team they are. I think this is a team that'll win a lot of football games before the season's over.
Was going to ask you, and your keys to this game on defense, would stop the run be so far at the top of this game plan heading into Saturday?
Yeah, if you don't stop the run, you won't win. That's a fact. So we'll, and then if you stop the run well enough to where you get Wisconsin one-dimensional and throwing it, then you just accomplished a really good feat, and you give yourself a great opportunity to win.
We'll do a few more for Coach.
Nate, Ken McMillan again. I think we asked this of you about a month ago, but tell us about the development of some of these other players on defense who are, trying to make their way up the charts. Are we seeing some progress in some folks?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of improvement. Week in and week out, you talk about guys like Andre Carter and Eric Smith and Nolan Cockrell and, guys that Marquell Broughton and Cedric. All those guys just bring their game, week in and week out. But some of the guys some of the younger guys that have really, I think, improved tremendously. Jalen Jacobs is a guy that I love his skill set. He's playing in a position where he backs up Andre Carter, but you see him get on the field, every ball game, and in practice, you can see how much better he's getting. As he starts to understand more and more his role in this defense. Chris Frey is a guy that right off the bat has stepped up his game and gotten better and better for us, and been a very productive defensive end for us. And probably a guy that down the road could also play, nose tackle if we asked him to do that. Um, just looking at Spencer Jones is coming back off of a number of injuries, in the off season and camp, and is picking up his game as well. And then we moved Leo Lowen to from a safety position to a linebacker, inside linebacker, and Leo had some injuries going on, in camp that kept him from growing as fast as what we would have liked at the linebacker spot. But now you can see him getting a little bit more comfortable in that role and helping us tremendously, in the passing game. But also he's starting to understand his run fits better and better each day. So those are some of the guys that just sort of, pop out. There's others.
Sure. Nate, also, how do you coached at Power 5 conferences and you're coaching here at Army successfully? How do you tackle going into a game as a 2-touchdown underdog against a Power 5? What's the secret to, I hate to use the word upset because I know you guys, figure you have a chance to win here. So how do you convince your guys, hey, we can do this, and how do you pull it off?
I think they understand that if they are successful in their and understanding what they're supposed to do, and understanding the stress points of what an offense does to make it hard for you to fit your responsibility in the scheme of the defense, then practice goes really well when you can simulate those scenarios. And I feel like practice is going well for us. I feel like our guys are motivated. I feel like we're still on that upward slope as far as improving each week. And as long as we're a defense that continues to improve each week, by the end of the season, you're playing your best ball. That's always been great outcomes, great seasons for me as a coach. So whether you're going into a ball game against a Power 5 team, or whether you're going against a team that doesn't have scholarships, you still approach it the same way. And whether you're an underdog or whether you're favored to win is irrelevant to those guys. It's about the performance on the field and each play that they've given an opportunity to perform. And right now, I like where we're at. I like what we're doing. I think guys are focused and energetic and determined. So as long as we get that, we got a chance.
Thanks, Nate.
Sure.
Hey, Coach, I just was going to ask about, you mentioned some of the young players that are emerging. How is it important to rotate players in a game like this? You're playing a team that their second team is as big as their first team and they're on their lines. How important is it to rotate players so that you're fresh in the third and fourth quarter?
I think it's important for us when we're rushing the passer and a quarterback that can extend plays. And your defensive linemen are the ones that really have to run the most. They're the ones that get banged on up front. Sometimes double teams, sometimes it's beating a block and running 7, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage to chase the quarterback, and then turn around and running all the way down the field to chase a ball carrier receiver. And people don't realize just how much they have to run for us in pursuit. So I think that's where you want to substitute the most is your defensive line. And if you wait and substitute them at the end of a series, then you're putting guys in there that haven't performed as well as the starters, and at critical times. So we'd like to substitute for our defensive line as much as we can to give them some rest and keep them fresh. One way to do that is at the beginning of a series, and just pick and choose when that's going to be. But at the beginning of the series, if we get those guys rested a little bit and then bring them in later in the series, that's of help. And another thing is when your offense is running the football. Heck, our offense is second in the country right now. Running the football, and when they give you a chance to get a little rest on the sideline, that helps as well.